Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to cosmic understanding. Today, we're tackling something really special, not just standard sci-fi. We're going deep into a foundational piece of speculative fiction, blending horror, fantasy, all of it.
We're looking at Abraham Merritt's The Metal Monster, first serialized way back in 1920.
And when you say foundational,
Yeah.
you really mean it.
Okay.
This isn't just monsters and adventure.
No, not at all. Imagine, if you will, encountering a civilization composed entirely of sentient geometry. We're talking about thinking, fighting, building metal cubes, spheres, pyramids.
Conscious metal.
Exactly, conscious metal life. And they don't just, exist. They manipulate cosmic forces, they build mountains, they fight. It's wild.
Okay, that's definitely a trip. So the goal for you, our listener, is to really get a handle on this novel scope. It's got that Lost World feel, but mixed with this bizarre science and an imaginative power that's just off the charts.
It really is. And we want you to grasp why someone like H.P. Lovecraft admired it so much. It's that blend of adventure with truly alien concepts.
So let's set the stage a bit. Abraham Merritt published in Argosy All-Story Weekly in 1920. That's a pulp magazine origin, right?
Yes, but Merritt elevated the pulp style. His prose is incredibly lush, very descriptive, sometimes almost overwhelmingly so.
And this is actually a sequel.
Technically, yes. It follows the moon pool and brings back the main character, Dr. Walter T. Goodwin. So there's some backstory implied, though it stands alone pretty well.
Genre-wise, we're calling it Lost World or Lost Race fantasy.
That's the typical categorization, yeah. But it pushes those boundaries. It weaves in science or maybe pseudoscience mysticism and definitely horror elements. Lovecraft really keyed into that utterly alien aspect.
And important for accessibility, it's in the public domain in the U.S. now, right?
Correct. The U.S. copyright expired, so you can find versions of it pretty easily. Though, be aware there are different editions out there, even an abridged one called The Metal Emperor, with some names changed. We're focusing on the original full version.
Got it. Okay, let's dive in. The story doesn't exactly kick off with a bang, does it? It starts with our protagonist, Dr. Goodwin, in a pretty low place.
Right. We meet Dr. Walter T. Goodwin. And he's not some eager explorer. He's a botanist, noted in his field, but he's out in the remote Trans-Himalaya Mountains, essentially. Hiding.
Hiding from what? Or maybe recovering.
Recovering seems right. The text says he explicitly sought out this isolated region to study its unique plants, like these strange, luminous purple lotuses mentioned in old Franciscan mission reports.
So botany as therapy.
Pretty much. He hopes the focus on flora will help dull the keen edge of sorrow from whatever happened in his previous adventures. The ones in the moon pool, set in the Caroline Islands, which apparently ended tragically. He's trying to ground himself.
But the past isn't staying buried, is it? There are hints, physical hints, that something's off about him.
Oh, definitely. It's the first sign that the weirdness isn't just out there in the mountains, it's on him. His physical description is really striking.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, he has thick black hair, but it's oddly sprinkled with white. Not just gray streaks, but gleaming silver strands with a curious metallic luster, like spun metal wire woven in.
Metallic luster, that's specific.
Very. And it gets weirder. His touch gives off this noticeable warmth, described as pleasant, but also curiously electric, like he's subtly charged, maybe magnetized.
Wow. And his movements, too, right? There's something strange about how he moves.
Yes, that's maybe the most haunting part. He seems to struggle, moving as if through some unseen clinging obstacle, like he's constantly pushing against some invisible resistance, a retarding medium only he feels.
So it's like the environment itself is different for him, like he's carrying the residue of whatever he encountered before.
Exactly. It suggests the metal monster's influence, or some alien influence from his past, is still physically interacting with him, concentrated around him.
Which leads into that story he tells. The New York incident. That really ramps things up.
It does. It takes the threat from this remote, lost world setting and plants it right in the middle of modern civilization. It shows the reach of this power.
So what happened?
He recounts being in New York City on a busy street and suddenly being slammed and held against a wall by an invisible, irresistible hand. Just pinned there.
By nothing he could see.
Nothing. He felt this crushing force, this immense pressure described as a ripple from the alien. It pierced right through the heart of the city, the place humanity feels safest.
That's terrifying. And it had physical effects beyond just the pressure.
Oh, yeah. His heart actually checked, like it physically stopped for a moment under the strain. But then the really weird stuff started. His pocket watch stopped dead.
Okay. Mechanical failure under stress.
Maybe. But then when he managed to get away and check the watch near his body, it started ticking again. But the hands, hour, minute, second, they all quivered and then slowly moved until they pointed directly at him.
Pointed at him like he was magnetic north.
Exactly. And it was even more dramatic with his compass. The needle went wild, then aimed straight at Goodwin, straining, visibly straining, trying to leap upon him.
Good Lord. So it wasn't just random interference. It was focused, directed.
Precisely. And Goodwin himself identifies the source. He says it's the power of the thing, the metal monster.
So this suggests he's not just a survivor of past trauma. He's become some kind of focal point, maybe because of that earlier exposure in the moon pool.
It certainly seems that way, like he's a walking beacon, attracting or interacting with this immense, invisible magnetic or electrical force, a living antenna for the monster.
And this is where it goes from personal horror to something truly cosmic, right? When he connects this force to the sun.
Yes. This is where Merritt really blows the scale wide open. Goodwin isn't just talking about a hidden creature. He points up at the sun. He mentions seeing a sunspot, a massive one, 100,000 miles across.
Okay, astronomers see sunspots. What's the connection?
Goodwin claims this huge solar activity. The sun cyclones that cause auroras, the energy-driving storms on Earth isn't random solar physics. He says it's being directed. Controlled.
By what?
By a vast inhuman intelligence, a sentient and conscious thing. This thing, he claims, reaches its will across the 90 million miles between the sun and Earth.
It stirs sun cyclones.
Yes, into prodigiously greater being, as he puts it. It's deliberately amplifying solar events.
Why? What's the goal?
This is the truly terrifying part. It's harvesting that solar power, spinning it, collecting it to gain the energy needed to crush Earth into a highway for itself and its hordes that were itself.
Crush Earth into a highway. What does that even mean?
It means Earth isn't a planet to be conquered or lived on in the human sense. It's just material, raw resources to be reshaped, flattened, paved over by this alien intelligence for its own purposes. Every serum, every aurora is just construction prep.
That completely flips the script. It's not about invasion. It's about planetary engineering by something utterly indifferent to us.
Precisely. It implies that if humans vanished, the world wouldn't just go back to nature. It would be actively reformatted by this cosmic geometric force. That's the kind of utterly alien thinking Lovecraft must have admired. It's pure cosmic horror.
It definitely takes the Lost World idea and injects it with something way bigger, way more fundamental. We're not just finding dinosaurs. We're bumping into the operating system of the universe, and it's got a malevolent user.
That's a great way to put it. A user with very different plans for the hardware.
Okay, so Goodwin's got this horrifying cosmic theory buzzing in his head, but he's still ostensibly looking for those weird purple flowers.
He is. And his search eventually leads him to cross paths with other people, which kicks the more traditional Lost World adventure plot into gear.
Who does he meet?
First, he runs into Dick Drake. He's an American engineer described as practical, maybe a bit grounded compared to Goodwin's more, let's say, psychically attuned state. Drake actually knows Goodwin, or at least knows of him through his father and acquaintance.
Okay, so an engineer. That provides a different perspective.
It does. And then later, they find two more people who are already lost in the region, Martin and Ruth Ventnor. They're siblings.
The vendors, what's their deal?
Martin is mentioned as the son of a scientist, so he brings a bit of that analytical thinking, tries to formulate hypotheses about what they encounter. And Ruth. Well, Ruth becomes incredibly important later on, partly because she seems particularly sensitive or susceptible to the influence of the metal monster.
So we've got our classic adventure party, the haunted botanist, the practical engineer, the scientific son, and the sensitive daughter.
Pretty much the archetypes, yeah. But none of them are remotely prepared for what they're about to walk into.
Their first big shared experience of the weirdness is atmospheric, isn't it?
Yeah.
The sky does something strange.
It really does. They witness this massive aurora-like display, but it's not in the Arctic, and it's described very actively. A gigantic coruscating lance of misty green fire shoots down from a cloud.
Not just flickering lights, but a lance of fire.
Exactly. And it gets more intense. Later, they see the entire aurora display just cascade downwards, like a columned stream to Earth. It's being actively sucked down.
Sucked down by what?
By some immense, unseen, purposeful force. Drake, the engineer, immediately senses the artificiality, the intention behind it. He says it struck him like a metal claw reaching down from the sky.
A metal claw harvesting the heavens. That's a powerful image.
It connects directly back to Goodwin's theory, right?
Yeah.
The sun's power isn't just radiating, it's being actively channeled, collected by something on Earth. This is the visible evidence.
And whatever's doing the collecting,
Mm-hmm.
it leaves a mark. This leads to the footprint, doesn't it? Or the seal.
Yes, the unimaginable seal. This is probably one of the most memorable, chilling images in the whole book.
Where do they find it?
In a field covered in poppies, they come across this massive fresh imprint in the ground. The description makes it clear it feels irresistibly like a footprint or maybe a sigil.
How big are we talking?
Huge. It's shaped like a curved heel mark with 4 distinct claw marks radiating out, forming a sort of 10-rayed star shape. Each individual claw mark is 20 feet long.
20 feet. Just one claw mark. The scale is insane. It implies something impossibly massive made this.
Immense weight and pressure, yes. But the truly disturbing part isn't just the size, it's what happened to the ground within the mark.
What do you mean?
The earth and rock inside the imprint weren't just pushed aside or churned up. They were crushed, compressed, transformed into this incredibly smooth, dense, hard substance, described as a microscopically grained adamantine complex.
Adamantine.
Yeah.
Like diamond hard.
It's essentially, yeah, hardened into stone by sheer, focused force, as if something incredibly heavy didn't just step there, but stamped there with unimaginable power.
And there's that detail about the flowers.
Ah, yes, that's what makes it so vividly horrifying. Delicate poppy petals, which were growing in the field, are found embedded into the surface of this super hard, polished stone, like they were perfectly inlaid.
Wow. So not just brute force, but precise force. Able to crush rock, but preserve a petal.
Exactly. It suggests immense power wielded with surgical, almost geometric precision, utterly non-biological.
What does Drake make of it?
Well, he jokes at first about some mythical giant Shinjay with a 2,000-foot leg, but he quickly drops that idea. The edges of the mark are too clean, too perfect, and absolutely mathematical nicety. He concludes it can't be a footprint. It must be a giant seal in a mountain's hand. A stamp?
A seal, implying purpose, ownership maybe, and metallic, magnetic, connecting back to Goodwin's experiences.
Precisely. It's a sign, a marker left by whatever entity is drawing down the auroral energy.
So they've seen the power, they've seen the mark. What's next? Does the environment itself react?
It does. As they continue their journey along an old road, they enter this sort of lush green bowl or hollow in the landscape, and it feels immediately wrong.
Wrong how?
They encounter this palpable force. It's unseen but tangible. The novel calls it an anti-life force, a concentration of desolation.
Anti-life.
Yeah.
Like actively hostile to living things.
Yes, but psychologically hostile. It doesn't attack them physically. Instead, it just drains them, saps the life right out of their nerves. It fills their minds with this ineffable weariness, this overwhelming, vast desire to drop upon the stones, to be rolled away, to die.
A wave of pure despair and exhaustion.
Exactly, a kind of spiritual inertia. It's the polar opposite of that electric vitality Goodwin seems to carry. They have to physically struggle against it, like wading through thick, invisible water, pushing against this psychic weight.
How do they get through?
They basically have to scramble up onto a higher ledge, getting above the main concentration of the force. It's localized in that hollow.
That contrast is interesting. Goodwin's electric charge versus this draining, depressive field.
It really sets the stage, doesn't it? It highlights the clash between chaotic, perhaps messy, human vitality, and this other force may be associated with the metal monster that seems to value order, stillness, maybe even a kind of entropic peace. It wants to nullify the noise of life.
Which is the perfect lead-in to actually meeting the components of this geometric life.
Right. Because up until now, it's been forces, marks, environments. Now they encounter the beings themselves, or at least the building blocks.
And it's Ruth Ventnor who shows them first, right?
Yes. She's collected some of these objects, small things, metallic geometric shapes, cubes, spheres, pyramids, tetrahedrons, like minimalist sculpture.
They're heavy.
Incredibly heavy. Heavier than platinum, the text says. But that's not the shocking part.
What is?
They move. Ruth shows Goodwin and Drake how they move on their own. They seem to look for each other thinkingly, consciously. They have volition.
Sinking. Metal shapes.
Yes. And they don't just move, they assemble. They combine into larger, more complex forms, sometimes described almost humorously like a troll from the kindergarten or a kobold of the toys.
So they're like living Lego bricks.
Kind of, but infinitely more fluid. They shift and change shape with quicksilver quickness, melting from one form to another, like a kaleidoscope, but alive.
What's Goodwin's reaction to this?
Sheer, unadulterated cosmic horror. His internal thought sums it up. geometry endowed with consciousness, made articulate.
Wow, that phrase alone.
It nails it, doesn't it?
Mm.
The immediate, terrifying realization hits them all. These are living, thinking metal things, metal with a brain, as Goodwin thinks, and they feel powerful, like they contain immense energy, the power of Thor, compressed into something tiny.
This just shatters everything they know about biology, about life itself.
Completely. It's outside all known science, all experience. How do you even begin to comprehend, let alone fight, something that seems to be the fundamental geometry of the universe made animate and conscious?
Even Drake, the engineer, he can't rationalize them away as machines.
No, he tries, maybe, but it admits the complexity, the fluid transformations, the way they reintegrate after being separated. It proves they're alive, volent, thinking, each one of them.
Yeah.
They possess independent will.
Okay, so tiny thinking metal shapes are scary enough. But then things escalate. They meet the manager.
You could say that. They meet the one who seems to command them, or at least interacts with them on a higher level, Norhala.
How does she appear?
Dramatically, of course. The party gets attacked by those soldiers we mentioned earlier, archaic Persian descendants led by a guy named Turkis, who seems to be a local warlord.
Right, the Persians.
They're cornered, about to be overrun, when suddenly this woman appears in a fissure in the rock wall above them.
Norhala. What's she like?
Strikingly beautiful, but in a very unsettling way. Her hair is described again with that cloudy metallic quality, tawny, lustrous topaz, spun copper silk, just incredibly opulent and strange. Perfect, almost too perfect.
But it's not just her looks, right? There's something about her presence.
Exactly. Her beauty is overlaid with this profound sense of otherness. Her face, her eyes, they have an unearthly tranquility, a passionless spirit that feels ordered, mathematical.
Mathematical.
Yes, like she's an emanation of eternal law. The text explicitly says her consciousness is cosmically blind to all human emotion. She's calculus in human form, cold, perfect, indifferent.
So she's the human interface for this metallic intelligence.
She seems to be the bridge, yes, between carbon-based life and this crystalline geometric existence, and she proves her connection immediately. She cries out, and hundreds of these metal things, larger now than the little toys Ruth found, pour out of the crevice. They swirl around her command.
And they form something.
Instantly. They coalesce into gigantic, terrifying forms. The main one is called the smiting thing.
The smiting thing doesn't sound friendly.
Not remotely. It takes shapes like a monstrous cat or a tripod, and it doesn't just fight the Persians. It plays with them before destroying them.
Plays with them.
Yes, it uses flailing chains, giant punches, immense force. But the narration emphasizes this chilling detail. It carries out this slaughter with a kind of detached, frightening amusement, like a cat batting a mouse, but on a terrifying scale. It's the joy of perfect, efficient destruction.
That's deeply disturbing. Power without empathy. Just mathematical process.
Exactly. Her control is absolute. But then this influence, this pull towards geometric order and tranquility starts to affect one of the protagonists directly.
Ruth Ventnor.
Yes. She starts to change. Gradually, subtly at first, her face begins to take on that same unearthly tranquility that Norhala has. Her expression becomes serene, ordered.
And her voice.
Her voice changes too. It develops an echo of Norhala's own voice, which is described as having a faint, far-off golden chiming quality. It's like Norhala's essence is bleeding into her.
Is she aware of this? Does she fight it?
She becomes aware, yes, and it terrifies her. She confesses later, saying she feels a taint upon me, an alien thing within my heart, my brain, my soul.
A taint? Like a corruption?
Or maybe a conversion. She describes this internal pull, this urge to just let go, to drift untroubled in some vast calm filled with an ordered ecstasy of peace.
An ecstasy of peace. That sounds almost seductive.
It does, and that's the horror. In this state, the real world, her brother, her companions, human emotions, they start to seem unreal, like dreams. Messy, chaotic, undesirable compared to the perfect, calm, mathematical order the metal monster represents.
Wow. That's a profound kind of horror. It's suggesting that the alien perfection is so compelling it makes human life itself feel flawed, like a disease to be cured by surrender.
Precisely. The ultimate surrender isn't physical defeat. It's the desire for pure, emotionless mathematical order, giving up the flaws of being human.
And to understand this state, this ordered ecstasy, they have to go deeper, right? They follow Norhala.
They do. She leads them into the fissure, into the domain of the metal monster itself, into the living city.
Okay, so they follow Norhala into the fissure. What's it like inside? Is it just caves?
Not at all. The environment immediately reinforces how alien this place is. They're transported through passages not by walking, but riding on platforms formed by the metal things themselves, specifically cubes, joining together.
Riding on living metal. And the physics are weird too, right? Magnetism.
Extremely weird. The magnetic attraction is incredibly intense. Moving feels agonizingly difficult. Goodwin describes it vividly like being a fly on the vertical faces of a huge sugar loaf, just sticking, struggling against the pull.
So the intense magnetic field they suspected outside is the very atmosphere in here?
It seems to be the fundamental force, yes. It confirms Drake's earlier thoughts that these things might be magnetically activated.
And Goodwin has another strange sensory experience. Something with the light.
He does. The light in these passages is strange, and he theorizes it's shifted towards the ultraviolet spectrum. The effect is bizarre. He temporarily sees himself and his companions not as flesh and blood, but as glowing, animated skeletons.
Like an X-ray view.
Kind of, yeah, like a Durer etching come to life. It's the surreal, unsettling moment that suggests this realm operates on a completely different physical wavelength, stripping away the surface to reveal the underlying structure, the bare bones.
That's quite a visual, and this intense environment leads to a mental breakthrough, or breakdown for one of them.
Yes, for Martin Ventnor. He reacts badly to seeing the core of the power structure. He sees what they call the Metal Emperor, this huge central entity referred to as the Disk.
The Metal Emperor. The disc.
Yes. And Martin, perhaps out of fear or defiance, tries to shoot at it.
Bad idea.
Very bad idea. He's immediately struck by some kind of energy ray emanating from the metal things. He collapses into a deep coma.
Oh no. Is that it for him?
Physically, he's unconscious, but mentally, something else happens. While comatose, he somehow transmits a psychic message, primarily to Goodwin.
A psychic message. So telepathy is part of this too.
It seems so. Merritt uses this as a way to deliver a kind of exposition dump, the philosophical core of what these things are.
What does Martin reveal?
Through this psychic link, Goodwin perceives Martin's understanding. The things are confirmed as conscious, mobile, built from crystalline structures. They possess a powerful group consciousness, operating collectively, linked by spheres of energy humans can't normally perceive.
A group mind. Like a hive, but made of metal.
Exactly. And crucially, Merritt tries to give this a veneer of scientific plausibility, at least for the 1920s. Drake, the engineer, explicitly connects these ideas to real-world scientific speculation of the time.
Like what?
He mentions the work of Sir Jagadish Chandra Bose, who did experiments on plant consciousness. But more specifically, he links it to experiments by someone named Lilly on the responses of metals.
Lilly's experiments, what did they show?
According to Drake's recollection in the novel, Lilly demonstrated that metals subjected to electrical currents could show reactions similar to nerves and muscles. They could get tired, they could rest, and they even exhibited a kind of peculiar but unmistakable memory.
Metal memory, metal fatigue being like actual fatigue.
That was the implication Lilly apparently drew, leading him to conclude there might be a real metallic consciousness, that inorganic matter isn't dead, just dormant or operating differently.
So Merritt took this fringe scientific idea and just ran with it, scaled it up to an entire civilization.
Precisely. It grounds the fantastical concept slightly, suggesting the metal monster isn't pure magic, but an extreme extrapolation of dimly understood physical principles. Life arising from crystalline structure and electromagnetism instead of carbon chemistry.
Okay, armed with this terrifying confirmation, they finally arrive at the heart of it all, the city.
They reach the central area called the Pit, and there it is, the metal monster city, and it's overwhelming.
How is it described?
As a colossal fortress, mountainous in scale, shimmering blue-black. But the key phrase is, a city that saw, alive.
Alive. The city itself is alive.
Yes. The walls, the structures, everything isn't built by the metal people. The city is the metal people, collectively formed. It's a single, immense, conscious entity made of countless geometric individuals. Featureless, absolute, terrifying.
A living mountain of sentient geometry. That's hard to even picture.
It is. And it's at this point, standing before this ultimate expression of alien order, that Norhala's mask slips just a little. She reveals her human backstory. She confirms she is the daughter of a man named Rustum who was murdered by Cherkis, the leader of those Persian soldiers they encountered earlier.
So her motivation isn't just serving the metal monster's philosophy. There's personal revenge involved.
deeply personal, and her promise becomes one of total vengeance against Cherkis and his people. The power of the metal monster is about to be unleashed not just for abstract geometric principles, but for human hatred.
How does the monster manifest this vengeance?
It transforms. The collective entity, the city, reshapes itself into something mobile and destructive. A colossal, mile-long figure, described variously as a stomping sphinx or a spindle, a figure of pure annihilation.
A mile long, and it walks.
It strode, the book says, on legs made of columns, bending at thousands of joints, its massive feet falling with absolute machine-like precision.
And its footprints.
Exactly. They leave those same deep, clean-cut black pits they found earlier in the poppy field, perfectly compressed adamantine impressions. It is the seal of destruction, now animated and walking the earth.
And its target is the Persian city, Ruzark.
Yes, Norhala commands its complete destruction, and Merritt depicts it as an absolute, calculated genocide.
How does it happen?
The monster uses incredible energy weapons. Lightnings keyed up to an invincible, annihilating weapon to literally split granite cliffs barring the way. Then, giant shapes formed from the metal things enter the city.
Destroy everything.
Systematically, they are described as crushing stone in human fragments, but it's the purpose behind the destruction that's chilling. Goodwin realizes the monster isn't just smashing things randomly.
What's the goal then?
Order. It's grinding down all the ugly, unsymmetrical excrescences, trees, towers, people into smooth, unbroken plains, harmonious curvings. It's turning the chaos of a human city into perfect, sterile geometry, destruction as an act of tidying up.
That is profoundly disturbing, like cosmic OCD with death rays.
Pretty much. And Merritt makes sure the reader feels the human cost. There's a truly horrific moment where Cherkis, the warlord responsible for Norhala's father's death, is captured and forced to watch.
Why?
Watch as the metal monster deliberately crushes his own son, Kulun, as though Kulun had been a great.
Oh, God. That's brutal.
It's pure, specific cruelty directed by Norhala, using the monster's indifferent power. It's this awful intersection of human vengeance and alien mechanism, the cold machine delivering a very hot, very personal horror.
A Gorgon queen wielding cosmic power for revenge. But the monster doesn't just keep going, does it? Something happens internally.
Exactly. Just as it seems poised for maybe wider conquest, the focus shifts abruptly inward. A tremendous drumming sound begins, described as drum fire, like cannonading stars.
Cannonading stars. What is it?
Martin Ventnor, somehow stirring from his coma or trance state, identifies it. He calls them the drums of destiny. It signals an internal conflict starting within the metal monster itself.
Conflict. Within the group mind.
Apparently so. A colossal strife erupts within the city. It seems the city, this massive living dynamo, is essentially tearing itself apart.
Who is fighting who? Or what?
It seems to be a battle between two primary aspects or leaders within the collective. On one side, there's the metal emperor, the disk, which seems associated with that ordered, multicolored, harmonious light, perhaps representing pure, stable, geometric perfection.
And the other side?
The other is called the Keeper of the Cones, also referred to as the Cross. This entity is characterized by angry, smoky reds and ochres. It feels more turbulent, maybe representing a more aggressive, expansionist, or perhaps chaotic aspect of the metal consciousness. Order versus ambition, maybe.
So a civil war within the machine.
A psychic or energetic civil war, yes. Goodwin watches as these two immense forces grapple. The conflict turns inwards, and the result is catastrophic for the monster. The city, this incredible dynamo, effectively short-circuits itself.
A short circuit. How does that manifest?
Prodigious energy stream outwards, uncontrolled now, mixing with Earth's own atmospheric electricity. The Keeper of the Cones is seen enveloped in a black shroud of mist, and then it falls, defeated or destroyed. The entire structure, the entire collective consciousness just burns out.
Burns out. What's left?
Nothing but devastation. The city, the warring factions within it, the Keeper, the Emperor Disk, which apparently held Norhala in its grip as it died, everything is instantly reduced to a single, vast hill of slag.
Slag. Like industrial waste.
Exactly. Coal black, vitrified, glassy, and utterly dead. All that complexity, all that power, all that alien consciousness, gone, reduced to inert material.
Drake probably had a practical take on it.
He did. The engineer's perspective. A short circuit, burned out, like a dynamo, like an electric light. A catastrophic system failure.
So the immediate terror is over, replaced by emptiness.
Yes, the abomination of desolation, as the book puts it. Silence, stillness, but not entirely inert.
What do you mean?
Goodwin notes that even with the monster dead, he still feels a faint but definite pull, an electrical or magnetic current tugging him towards the northwest, towards the location of that massive slag heap, the magnetic corpse of the monster.
So the energy signature lingers. The potential isn't completely gone.
It seems diminished, maybe residual, but the anomaly is still there. The place remains marked. The threat, perhaps, isn't entirely extinguished, even in death.
Wow, what an arc. From botany expedition to cosmic horror, pseudoscience, genocide, and finally a self-destructing alien god machine turning into slag.
It really covers incredible ground, doesn't it? Merritt packs so much into this novel.
He really does. So, summing up the takeaways for you listening, we've journeyed into this world where life isn't bound by carbon chemistry. It's crystalline, metallic, geometric. It thinks, it builds, it wields forces torn from the sun itself.
And Merritt forces you, through Goodwin and the others, to confront what life and consciousness might actually mean. If it can arise in metal, governed by mathematical principles, what does that say about our own biological existence?
It definitely explains why Lovecraft was so impressed. He often wrote about the horror of encountering the truly non-human, the utterly alien intelligence operating on principles we can't fathom. Merritt delivers that in spades here.
He really does. It posits this terrifyingly efficient, ordered existence that makes human chaos, our emotions, our struggles, our messy lives seem almost like a temporary aberration, a flaw in the cosmic design.
It really makes you think about the fundamental rules of the universe. If consciousness can spontaneously arise from inorganic matter, from magnetism in crystal structures, even just once in fiction, what else is possible? What other forms of life could the universe's evolutionary processes cook up, operating on laws we don't even perceive yet?
And that perfectly sets up the final, chilling thought from the novel, the vision that Martin Ventnor glimpsed during his coma after he made that psychic contact.
Right. He saw something beyond the immediate events.
He saw a possible future for Earth, long, long after humanity is gone.
What did it look like?
Desolate, but not natural. He saw the planet fundamentally reshaped, hills leveled, oceans fettered, controlled, the entire surface carved into vast geometric fashioned symbols.
No trees, no cities, no trace of us.
None. No green life at all. No ruins. Just them. The metal people, standing as the silent, eternal inheritors, having finally imposed their perfect, sterile order on the entire planet.
Oh, wow. That's bleak.
It is. So even though the specific metal monster they encountered is dead, reduced to that slag heap, the idea it represents lingers. The question hangs there. If inorganic matter can achieve consciousness once, what's stopping it from happening again? What other shapes, as the book might put it, could be stirring right now in the deep structures of reality, waiting for their turn to rise, and perhaps submerge humanity in their own cold, ordered logic?
The slag heap might be quiet, but the concept is still out there. That potential for the non-human successor. A persistent, cold, electric dread indeed.
A perfect summation of Merritt's achievement, I think.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive into Abraham Merritt's The Metal Monster. We hope exploring this bizarre, foundational text gave you a new appreciation for the sheer imaginative power and the cosmic dread lurking in early 20th century speculative fiction. Thanks for joining us.